are you? Thanks for joining. Still getting into work mode, sorry. I'm thinking I'm gonna turn off those lights on the counter. One sec. How is everybody doing after their long weekend break? I am very much getting back into the swing of things. I've definitely enjoyed having the time off. Not used to having 4-day weekends. At least not in the spring. Usually in the November for Thanksgiving. So I'm excited. I was excited. We had a hell of a weekend. It was fun. It was busy, but it was fun. How did you guys, what about your weekend? Everybody have a good weekend? Hi, Shaquitla. Thanks for joining. I am doing very well, Chris. Thank you. How are you doing today? Your weekend was just okay. Oh, thanks, Shaquitla. Yeah, I hit 800, over 800 subs over the weekend. So yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it, Shaquitla. You've been here since the beginning. I totally appreciate you. I appreciate everybody. And I didn't think I'd get 8 subs, so this is kind of cool. So I'm really excited about how this is growing and getting to talk to you guys and all of that stuff. What did our community decide? Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Did we decide on what y'all wanted me to do today? I think it was reactions, but nobody ever put anything in there to react to. Hold on. Do. Jesus. Interesting. Somebody responded to one of my community posts asking me to explain why the poor are so poor. Wait, this is very interesting. It's a random. Why do the poor often suffer the most? It's interesting. The short answer is power. It's all about power. The rich people have all the power, and so they make the rules for themselves. And it's been that way for ever, unfortunately. But hopefully someday it'll get better. I hope that you're not suffering too much, whoever posted that. Chris wants me to pick. Chris, you're actually in London? Or are you in like the greater London area? Yeah, Shaquitha is from Philadelphia. Philly rap, what? I'm not really a Philadelphian. I just lived outside of it for a couple years. I'm really a Jersey girl. All right, well. Let's see. Let's see some stuff. Did have a list of stuff I wanted to watch, so maybe we'll just do that. Let's react to this one. Greater London, Hornchurch, Essex, but it comes under London. Essex. I think I know somebody who's from Essex, actually. And we've driven through there a few times, but I haven't stopped anywhere that I can think of off the top of my head in Essex. So interesting. What's good around there? Anything good that I should check out? If you know me, I love to explore. I love exploring. Like if I could just make a living just going to like new places and experiencing new things and talking to new people, if I can make a living on that, I would be a very happy camper. All right, this is 22 things British people love. So let's see how it goes. Let me fix the shot a little bit for y'all. Let's see how it goes. Meal deals.
Great cuisines. Fair enough, I get that. And all our best food is beige. Crisps, sandwiches, sausage rolls. But one thing we love is a lunchtime meal. Beige food at a cheap price. Come on, that's the British dream. Go to any supermarket and you can get a main, a snack, and a drink for under a fiver. Most office workers in the UK are fueled by a sandwich, packet of crisps, and a fizzy drink. This isn't gourmet stuff, but we love it, and you might learn to love it too. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Teacher Tom, and I teach fresh, modern British English and culture to people around the world interested in this crazy little island nation of ours. I've got a whole bunch of free resources that you might like. There's a free pronunciation masterclass video, a digital book all about British slang, and one about business English as well. Plus, I have a weekly newsletter keeping you up to date with all the latest news and trends happening in the UK that week.
I'm not a fan of this kind of stuff, the promo stuff in the video. I kind of do it sometimes, but it's not like my favorite thing, especially when I'm watching videos. I just want to get to it, just get to the content. Maybe a quick intro, explaining a little bit about the channel if it's a new video or something like that. But this like whole promo stuff that they do, like you're already interested in the video, let's go.
Sometimes we don't even know.
Oh, I missed it.
Plus, I have a weekly newsletter keeping you up to date with all the latest news and trends happening in the UK that week. All the links that you need are in the description box.
She come to the north of England, Yorkshire.
Queuing is a national sport over here. If it was an Olympic event, we'd win gold, silver, and bronze. Sometimes we don't even know what we're queuing for. It's bonkers. It is bonkers. Occasionally, I like to just join a queue just to see where it goes. I think it's because of the British love of order and fairness, and there is nothing that angers a Brit more than a queue jumper. Queue jumpers are the worst. We even have invisible queues. Wait, what? How does that work? I'll tell you more about that when we discuss Britain's love of a pub. Number 3, Sir David Attenborough. He is a national treasure.
He is a treasure. I really like David Attenborough. I think he's fabulous.
The BBC's natural history
Have to say.
For 50 years or more. Generations of Brits have learnt all about the natural world through his shows like Planet Earth, Blue Planet, and so many others. And he continues to raise awareness about climate and environmental issues, even into his late 90s. I'll tell you this, at least once a week, I make sure that I express a little gratitude to the universe that we still have him in our lives. Number 4, talking about the weather. You knew this one already, didn't you? Now,
of course, talking about the weather. Of course.
There are 2 main reasons. Firstly, we use it as a conversational crutch to lean on when chatting to people, whether we know them or they're strangers. It's an easy way to make conversation with someone. You make an observation about the weather, and you've avoided that awkward silence that nobody wants, right? Secondly, the weather in the UK is madness. Honestly, it's madness. It's constantly changing.
I'll go back to what we were doing in the beginning, because that seemed to be working. Is that better? Is that better, you guys? Anyone? Yay, I'm back. So sorry, y'all. All right, who's gonna start? All right, we're gonna go back to the crisps. Sorry about that, everybody. Thank you for hanging in there. We are high quality productions, as you can tell.
It's sunshine and rainbows. So it's a constant source of surprise and interest for us. Now, one thing it isn't is predictable, and that keeps us entertained. Number 5, odd flavored crisps.
Yes,
Now,
you guys have
are
the
very
craziest
versatile.
flavored crisps
I bloody love them.
here.
I
We
could,
call them chips,
and
but
probably should
yeah.
have a whole YouTube channel dedicated to discussing crisps. It's a good idea, actually. So I feel well positioned to admit that yes,
Thank you,
we
Chris.
do love some ridiculous flavors.
You have like Christmas dinner flavors.
A popular seafood starter from the 1970s. It's one of our favorite
cocktails.
flavors.
I don't like
Comes
prawn
in a big
cocktail
bag,
though.
tastes delicious.
Not the
You've got to
chips
try it.
anyway.
What about salt and vinegar? It's an absolute classic, as is cheese and onion. How will you
Cheese
serve
and
it
onion's
to you?
okay.
Alright, yeah, weird. I don't know, alright. What about crispy bacon, pickled onion?
You have
or
like
haggis
ketchup
with
flavored.
black pepper? That one's just a Scott.
You guys have like ketchup flavored crisps. I remember someone having me try it a long time ago. It's been a while. I was thinking of doing like a taste test video of a bunch of crisps because there's a bunch I haven't tried in a while and then some I've never tried at all. So I was thinking of doing like, maybe I'll do that on a live feed. Like I'll just try a bunch of like British snacks or something. Is that something you guys would watch? Like, do you guys care about that? But I do have to try some again because my palate has definitely changed since the first time that I ever tried some of this stuff. It's been a while. So I would definitely be interested in trying it again. Oh, you're allergic to shellfish? But you like the prawn cocktail chips, crisps? That works for you? Well, it's probably not like real shrimp flavor, right? It's probably like an artificial flavor or something like that. That's probably why. But hey, that I know someone who has an allergy to fruit, to some fruits, like strawberries. They can't eat like raw strawberries, but the strawberry flavoring and stuff, they could have like strawberry flavored or like a strawberry sauce like on a cake or something like that. So it's probably something similar. Okay, back to Chris.
Do you know what? That's not including the Christmas specials that we have, like Hickson blankets, turkey and stuffing. Yeah, I could go on. We like the weird and wonderful. And I'd like to give a special shout out to barbecue beef hula hoops, a true British
Barbecue beef.
sporting rivalries. The UK is a sports crazy nation. Football is top dog, but we also love rugby, cricket, tennis, darts, boxing. I could go on. Now, I think the thing that draws people to sport is the rivalries that have developed over time.
Yeah,
We love
definitely.
the sporting narrative, like the underdog versus the established star, or the redemption of a fallen hero. Now, what are the biggest sporting rivalries in the UK? Well, in football, there's no bigger derby than the Old Firm derby between Celtic and Rangers, the two huge Glasgow football teams. In England, there are lots of derbies, but I would say the biggest one is probably Liverpool versus Manchester United. But every city or region has its own version.
They're everywhere, yeah,
Newcastle,
definitely.
Sunderland, or Cardiff and Swansea, etc. In terms of international
Man City
games,
versus
when
Man U.
Scotland and England play, it's always a bit spicy. And for England, games against Germany have that little added meaning. In rugby, we have the Six Nations tournament, which is England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, France, and Italy. And they all play each other. Now, each game has a special status, but again, I think that England...
Yo, rugby is no joke. Those guys are rough. That is a crazy rough sport. I can't believe that more people don't get injured. I mean, I guess it's like any other sport. There's ways that you tackle and all that so you don't get injured, but it is a crazy freaking sport. I have been to a football match. My family member is a Southampton season ticket holder, So he got us all tickets once when I visited. And yeah, it was fun. It's a very different experience than any sporting event I've been to in America by far. It's just, you mix up, in America you mix up, you know, like the opposing team sits with the home team. Like here they're separate. Saints, hey, is that the, are they the Saints? No idea. It was just like, you want to go to a football match? I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? It sounds like it would probably be right. But yeah, so you guys separate your fans and you have the sing song back and forth, and that was hilarious. It's just, the energy and stuff is just really, really different. And then we did the whole experience. We went to the pub beforehand and we walked to the stadium and everything. And that was really fun. It was really cool. It was before I started my channel. I probably would have done a vlog about it, but I might do it again someday. So I'll definitely vlog it then. But it was a good experience. It was fun. It was very positive for me. I enjoyed it a lot. So I would definitely go to another one. And my partner is a huge football fan, and my daughter is a huge football fan, so I'm sure it'll be happening.
Scotland match is a big one. In cricketing terms, there is no bigger game than England versus Australia in the Ashes. And invariably, Australia seems to win. Number 7, pubs. In many societies, people socialise around food. In the UK, we do it around alcohol, and it usually takes place in a pub. This is where Brits meet after work, for dates, for someone's birthday, to celebrate or commiserate, or simply to get away from the cold for a few hours. Now, if you come to the UK, you've got to visit them, but there are a few rules that you need to follow. For example, the invisible queue that I mentioned earlier. Now, they serve drinks at the bar, but there's no formal line.
I will remember that, Chris. Thank you.
You have to stand there and have a look, check to see who's in front of you, and then wait your turn. Now remember, there's nothing worse than a queue jumper. Now there are lots of other bits of pub etiquette that you should know that I've shared in my book, A Really British Guide to English, along with hundreds of other cultural tips. If you
Again
like
with the
copy,
promos.
link is in the description below. Now whilst we're on pubs, let's do number 9, pub quizzes. Brits love a pub quiz night. There are evenings where a pub will organise a formal quiz, usually general knowledge, for customers. And they offer prizes, and it's a lot of fun.
I've never done that.
They can be informal affairs, or they can be taken very, very seriously. Depends on the pub. People gather in teams.
Sounds like fun.
Witty team names like I'm Smarticus or Agatha Christie. Yeah, and compete for glory. So if you're in the UK, go to your local pub, ask the owners if they have a pub quiz, get a little team together, and have some fun. Number 10,
sounds like fun.
Say sorry all the time. Okay. Yeah, this is a thing. Brits
absolutely.
love to say sorry, yeah.
Oh my gosh, absolutely, 100%. You all say sorry for everything, and especially when you're hanging up the phone. I've noticed, sorry, not when you're hanging up the phone. I've noticed that you don't like to hang up the phone. But even when I'm at work, you guys are always, someone will ask me to do something, and it's my job. So I'm like, of course, I'll do that and I'll get back to you. And they're like, are you sure it's not inconvenience? I'm really sorry to ask. You're supposed to ask me. That's what I'm being paid for. It's so weird. You guys say sorry for everything. It's so weird. Is that like a complex because of all of from when you owned the world and conquered all those people? Or I don't know what it is. If it is a complex, then there's lots of people out there that should have it. But it is hilarious how often you say, I'm sorry. It is really hilarious to me. Yeah, you're on the phone and you guys take forever to say goodbye on the phone. You're in general, Brits take forever to say goodbye. We will be at someone's home and we'll get up to go and we'll be still having mini conversations as we're walking out the door. It's so crazy. And the phone thing is just hilarious to me. Okay, yeah. Okay, cheers. All right, thanks. Yeah, I'll do that. So have a good day. Yeah, and you too. Okay, thanks. All right. Thank you. Have a good, okay, bye-bye. Bye, bye-bye. I think it's funny. In America, it's just like, okay, thanks, have a good day, bye-bye. It's just, there's no waiting, just do it.
Every possible occasion they can, especially if there's no reason to apologise. So let's say someone bumps into you, you say sorry. If someone stands on the wrong side of the escalator, you say sorry. If someone's coming in the door and you're trying to exit, you say sorry.
Yeah, you say sorry when it's not your fault.
I don't know why, I think we're genetically designed to apologise at least 5 times a day. I love this one, cheering when someone smashes a glass in a pub. Honestly, there are few sounds more British than the celebratory "way" just after someone's dropped a glass in a pub. There's this sort of childlike glee in the idiocy or clumsiness of someone else that brings Brits so much joy. It's not meant to be mean, it's just a moment of comedy that we can all share together. So next time you're...
That's funny because that I've never had experienced that in Britain so far, but I'm gonna be on the lookout for it. But so I used to wait tables for a long time and bartend and things like that in America, and whenever someone that worked there would drop a plate or a glass or something, we would immediately say job opening, because it would be almost like, oh, they got fired because they dropped a plate. So we would say job opening. So I still say stuff like that when I'm in a restaurant or something and I hear someone drop something. I say it just because I was in that environment for so long. So it's really funny to hear you guys, that you guys do that. I'm gonna be on the lookout for that. It's fun. I like it.
The pub and someone smashes a glass, give it a bit of a way, way. When it comes to the big British institutions like the monarchy or the BBC, opinions are often divided. However, I'd say generally speaking, Brits still have a lot of warmth and affection for the BBC. For so many of us, it's been the source of news and entertainment since we were children. And I think it's always been synonymous with quality and impartiality. Now, I know that you could debate this, right? And the BBC has its flaws, like any institution, but it still has a place in the heart of many Brits. Top shows like Match of the Day, EastEnders, and Strictly Come Dancing still get millions of viewers. And I personally can't imagine a Brit without the BBC. Number 13, a cup of tea. We bloody love tea. And there's this belief that it can solve everything. There's never a time when you shouldn't have a cup of tea. Get a promotion, have a cup of tea. Get fired, have a cup of tea. Your football team loses in the last minute, have a cup of tea. In the south of England, we say cuppa, and in the north, they say a brew. You add milk, sugar if you want it, and maybe a cheeky biscuit to dunk in your drink. Number 14, banter. What is banter? Well, it's playful, humorous conversation between people. It can often be teasing and joking, but it shouldn't really be mean or malicious. Brits live for banter. It's a very bonding thing. We banter about football, bad clothes, silly haircuts, someone's bad taste in music, anything and everything. Number 15, saying alright and not wanting a response. Spend a few days in the UK and you'll pick this up immediately. Brits love using alright as a greeting, but they aren't looking for an actual answer.
Oh, okay.
So don't reply, yes, I'm fine.
You're right.
And you? We don't want that. All you have to do is deliver a very casual, alright? Or a hi if you really want. That's it. The perfect British conversation. Number 16, fish and chips, or any Friday night takeaway. All rooms are true.
I love fish and chips.
Love fish and chips. I know, more beige food, but it tastes particularly good if you have it by the seaside. Now, for many British families, a trip to the chippy on a Friday night is a weekly pilgrimage. Now, there are regional variations about what to have with your fish and chips. In the north, they like mushy peas, gravy, curry sauce. And in the south, it's more like salt and vinegar, maybe some ketchup, mayonnaise, that kind of thing. And in Scotland, they love to throw a bit of haggis or a Mars bar into a deep fat fryer. Just for loves. Just for loves. Just
I love fish and chips.
Now, if you aren't into fish and...
The best French fries I've ever had in my life have been here from a chippy. And it's not just been one specifically. I don't know how, like, the recipe or the oil that is traditionally used in the fish and chip shops here, but they're so good. They're just amazing. Amazing. I understand why people would just like go and get like a thing of chips, and that's like their dinner. It's great. I love fish and chips, but the chips at the local Chippies they've been my favorite fries I've ever had in my life.
Chips, don't worry, that's all right, because Brits
My favorite, like, basic fries, like with nothing on them or anything like that.
have this tradition of a Friday night takeaway. The big popular ones are Chinese and Indian. And if you go to any town or village, frankly, you can get both. Number 17, saying it's coming home before every football tournament. Okay, this one hurts a little bit because this is another football-related point that only really pertains to England. But every time there's a major international tournament, everyone starts saying, it's coming home. Yeah, it's coming home. And this is a reference to a song lyric from 1996 anthem, Three Lines, in which the singers claim that football is coming home. And we have this sort of optimism and belief that each year, each tournament, it is coming home. We've been singing this for 20 years, 30 years, 30 years. Sure. Number 18, discussing the route to or from somewhere. Now, to be honest, this is probably an older man kind of thing, but my goodness, you Brits love discussing how they're going to get somewhere or how they got somewhere. You know, for example, like, what route did you take? Or did you take the M1 or the M6? Which junction did you get off at?
And the traffic.
Congestion charge. How was the ringway at this time of day? There's a diversion for all southbound traffic. Oh God. Oh God. Why am I going? It seems to bring Brits endless joy, and I can't fathom it. I don't understand it. Maybe because I haven't got a car, but yeah, we love.
Because you haven't got a car? That might be why.
And routes. Madness. Number 19, neo-colonial taking over of places in foreign lands. Now, in these post-colonial times, I've noticed that certain groups of Brits still seem obsessed with claiming territory abroad. Now, there are two great examples of this. One is when football fans travel to European cities with their team and they set up camp in the town centre, in the square. And they'll put up their flags and their banners and they'll sort of take over the bars and cafes, essentially annexing the square as if it's like their territory for the day. This
Very British. That's a very British thing.
On holiday. Take like sort of previously sleepy and unsuspecting Spanish or Greek seaside towns, and then Brits go there. I mean, I'm talking about places like Costa del Sol, Ayia Napa, Cavos, etc. Now Brits go there and completely overrun the place. All the cafes serve British food, all the bars have British TV shows. The town basically feels like Croydon on the Mediterranean. Personally, I'm not a fan. Number 20, your mum's Sunday roast. And we've discussed that we're not a nation of gourmets, but we do love a good Sunday roast. And in particular, our mums, or our dads, or grands, or your family's Sunday roast, right? Because it's the one that you're used to. Now, a home-cooked Sunday roast, it just hits different to a pub version.
That's true.
It's the one you've grown up with, right? It's always going to be the best. Now, Sunday roast consists of a roast meat, like chicken, beef, lamb, or, of course, vegetarian options. You've got roast potatoes, vegetables, you've got gravy, various other condiments. Personally, I love a Yorkshire pudding. They're pretty good, I've got to say, guys. So when you come to the UK, trying a Sunday roast is definitely a must. You've got to do it. And if you can get an invite to someone and have a roast in their home, even better. Number 21, not making a fuss or being a bother. This is one area of life that I think we're different to the Americans.
Fuck yeah.
So an American will tell you if they aren't happy with something, right? Whereas Brits, we tend to keep quiet, we suffer in silence. Now don't get me wrong, I think the American ways probably makes more sense, but it's just not in our nature. We don't want to sort of make a song and dance about something. So, for example, if someone is sitting in your allotted seat on a train, a lot of Brits will just sort of shrug their shoulders and find another seat rather than confront the person. Now, that's not a rule, but I've done it and I've seen people do it. I guess we're just terrified of making a fuss. We don't want to be that person, that causes trouble or inconvenience for others.
Yeah, wouldn't a vegetarian version of a Sunday roast just be the vegetables? I'm not a vegetarian, so I don't know. I know there's some people are very strict. There's like variations. And I don't know, there's some people that actually won't even eat the like the vegetables if they're cooked, with the meat and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, but yeah, it sounds to me like it would just be the veg. Yes, I love the pub culture here, by the way. It's just calm and relaxed, and it's fucking great. I love it. And it's casual for the most part, and you can just show up, and I've gone to the pub in my sweats, which is amazing. And unusual for me. Excuse me. But yeah, I love the pub culture here. Love a Sunday roast. I love Yorkshire. Roasted potatoes are pretty good too. Have I tried lamb? I have tried lamb a couple times. I'm not a fan of it too much. It's not my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's really, really big here. My family loves it, but I don't really like it that much.
Right, let's finish with one last observation. Brits love an underdog story. Maybe it's because we're a small nation, so we have this sort of feeling of kinship, but it's definitely something deep in our psyche. One of the great British underdog stories was Eddie the Eagle. Now, he was an absolutely hopeless ski jumper in the 1988 Winter Olympics. He came last. The guy was rubbish, but the country became obsessed with him. They even made a film about the geezer. Guys, can you add any more to the list? Have I forgotten any?
Wait, for real? Like, Eddie, what was his name? Eddie the Eagle? He came in last place and you guys revered him? That is really hilarious. I thought when he said underdog story, I'm thinking like sorry, the lighting, guys. I was thinking like a comeback story, like everybody counted them out and thought he wouldn't be anything. And then he won or something, or he got really far. Like that to me is an underdog story. That's an American version of an underdog story. But you guys, like, he was awful and you guys made him a celebrity out of that? Oh, that's kind of mean. Yeah, he's known as the worst ski jumper, worst Olympian we've ever had in Britain. And we've made a movie about him. Ouch. That hurts. That poor guy. What was his name? Let me know his name again, you guys. Eddie the Eagle. He's the first and only Brit to have the balls to ski jump. Okay, well, all right. I can get behind that then. That makes sense. That's funny though. But ski jumping isn't a thing in the UK. Well, you guys don't really get a lot of snow, so that makes sense. Yeah, that makes total sense. It's like, but it could happen. It's like the Jamaican bobsled team, right? I mean, it could happen. You never know. All right, I'm gonna just I have a bunch of, not a bunch, I have a few other YouTube links here that I didn't label what they are. So this is gonna be fun. We're just gonna go for this one. See what it is.
It was a huge culture shock for me, and it was like there's a whole world out there, and America's maybe not the greatest country in the world.
This is Sylvie. She's from America but has lived in Sweden.
Oh, that's not something I want to watch with you guys. That doesn't sound like it'd be interesting for you guys. Unless you want to watch that. How will Americans get lied to? Alright, I'm gonna do this one. Foreigners that visited the US reveal what was the biggest culture shock for them. Let's see how this works. That would be interesting. How come it's only playing the sound? Guys, I am losing. I swear I've done this before, y'all. This is so crazy. can't wait to get a laptop where I could do this properly. There we go. The British Crusade Against Slavery. Wait. Eddie the Eagle wore glasses so thick he probably couldn't see what he was jumping off anyway. Wait, is that real? Is that real? Chris, if you have a link about that, then send it to me. And I'll check it out. All right, let's see here. No, I don't know. I don't think this one's gonna be fun either. I'm trying to find a fun one, y'all. Well, that's me. Well, that's not gonna help. Don't know why I have a link of myself. Why do I have a link of myself? All right, this is a comedy that somebody told me was really funny. And apparently it's a classic called Dad's Army. You guys interested? Yeah, it's real. Chris, send me that link for the British Crusade thing. I'll be interested in that.
NRC is most distinguished citizen, a man of many parts. NRC is most.
That was fun. That was fun. Let me catch up on some of your comments. No, that was fun. I liked that. I would definitely watch another episode. Okay, you have Dad's Army on DVD. DVD. No, I remember. Maybe had loads of DVDs. We were just having a conversation with my daughter about that the other day. Banana. So the banana in the tailpipe. Did you guys? If any of you guys ever saw Beverly Hills Cop, and he puts his banana in the tailpipe because they're surveilling him in Beverly Hills. Anyways, that's what I was doing. Yeah, I'm not surprised you couldn't get a banana during the war. Like, I wasn't really serious. I was just trying to make a joke. But I'm not surprised you couldn't get a lot in the wars. Everything was rationed, wasn't it? They were originally known as local defense volunteers before becoming formally known as the Home Guard. Most were of very limited use, but some were spirited away and trained as guerrillas. Yeah, I can see that. And me and some of my friends do the tank bit, do you? Yes, Chris, Beverly Hills Cop. There we go. See? Yeah, these pillboxes, yeah. We came across one. We were just driving around in the country. I don't even know what town or village we were in. But we spotted one, and my husband was like, oh, that's something that's going to interest you, and pulled over, and I took some footage of it and everything. It's really, really cool. Yeah, they look like they're built to last forever, so I'm not surprised that a lot of them are still around, but they're fun. There's a lot of stuff here in Kent that's left over from the war, from World War II. Bunkers and all that kind of stuff. It's really interesting to me because I actually am really interested in World War II history and all that kind of stuff. So I love that I have all that around me. I have a question for you, Chris. Because you're a veteran. And this is a serious question. I don't want to offend. But my father was a veteran from the American Army, and I was raised shaking veterans' hands or service people's hands, and thanking them for their service. That's just something that my family always did, and I still do it now in America. but I've been reluctant to do it here because I'm American and I didn't want it to come off as though I was being patronizing or anything like that. Being an ex-serviceman, what are your thoughts on that? I'm curious, because would that be offensive to you if someone like me came up and said thank you for your service? Or would that be make you feel uncomfortable or weirded out? Or would it be something that is like culturally acceptable here? Really, really curious about that, because it does feel weird that I don't acknowledge service people when I see them. But of course I don't want to be rude or disrespectful in any way, absolutely, especially to the not just to the culture, but obviously to their service. So how would you handle, like, what would you prefer in that situation, just out of curiosity? And as soon as he answers that question, then we are going to, I'm going to let you know where I was in my picture. I always think ex-servicemen too. I hear you, but because I didn't know if there would be, if it would be awkward because I'm American. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to make it any, again, I don't want to come off as if I'm arrogant or an idiot or anything. Yes. I think it's different if it comes from a fellow countryman than if it comes from a foreigner. But I could be wrong. We might have lost Chris. Chris might have had to go. If anyone knows the answer to that, though, please let me know, because I am interested. And we're going to close this out, but I have the picture that I posted. If you could guess where I was on a typical English Saturday afternoon. Oh, Chris. No, not offensive, but a bit weird to most guys in my generation. We served during the height of the IRA campaign against us, so we're much more used to keeping quiet. Understood. Understood. I've met American as well when I worked on Band of Brothers. You worked on Band of Brothers? That's so cool. That's amazing. I could imagine Chrissy about during the IRA campaign. I mean, that was rough. I mean, obviously all conflict is rough, but that, I mean, yeah. But would it be weird from a foreigner to say that to you? I guess that's probably my like, my dad was really, really proud, and he wore veterans hats and t-shirts and things like that all the time. So, and that's not uncommon in America. So, you know, you can kind of see the veteran. It's obvious in most cases that they're veterans, or if you're at like a veterans situation, right? Like an event or something. But whenever I saw anyone in fatigues or, you know, in uniform or having the hat on or something like that, I would always say thank you. So that's why I'm curious. No, probably more weird to get it from a Brit. Really? I don't know how I feel about that. The person that taught me to play musical instruments was in the Royal Marines and died at 100. Wow. That's amazing. That's a long time, jeez. He was in the Home Guard as well. I think the Home Guard thing is really cool. It really, I mean, I know, obviously, because Britain was under siege for a bit, everybody had to jump in, right? Everybody had to participate. But I think it's cool that you as a culture stepped up as a community to do that and protect your neighbors and protect your homes and family, you know, even though you couldn't necessarily be in the active army for any reason. So I just think that's cool. It goes to that sense of community that you guys have here that we don't have in America. I mean, if something like that happened on our soil, it might be different. But to be honest, I don't know that 100%. As rah, pro-America we are, I don't see everybody rallying around us to protect us and stuff. But it's a little different because we're so vast as well. And we've never really been that close to any real conflict on a consistent basis like you guys were. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just my personal take on, especially the way things are right now in America. It's so tumultuous. So, okay, so my typical English Saturday afternoon pick. Turn this ring light off. Better lighting without it right now. Does anyone know where I was? Someone cheeky was like, somewhere in England. Oh, it was you, Graham Humphreys. Somewhere in England. Very, very, very astute. Well done. Afghanistan made trailing for soldiers more fashionable. Yeah, I mean, my dad was in Vietnam, so he had a tough homecoming and stuff. And he did say, like, after the first Gulf War, the Persian Gulf War, and a couple of those conflicts, you know, the troops were treated differently, and he felt better about that. Though I think he was a little bit conflicted. But yeah, I mean, we just always as a family, you know, being a veteran was so important to my father that it was really important to us as a family. So that was rough on your dad and totally undeserved. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he had a rough time, but he was still proud. Always stood a little bit taller when he put a uniform on and marched in a parade or anything like that. He was very, very proud of his service. So it's something I always take with me. So I want to be respectful of it, though. I'm in a foreign country, and you know, I want to be respectful. I don't want to be one of those foreigners that thinks that the country has to adapt to me, right? But I want to also show that I respect that, and I, you know, appreciate service, because even everything's international now, you know. So if America goes to war, Britain goes to war with it a lot. So I noticed your dad's flags in previous shows. Yeah, that's my dad's flag from his funeral. I gotta get a case for it. Long story. Anyways, so I was at a Saturday footy match. It was my first cup game live. Different than when I went to the Southampton game. Very different, because it's much lower league. Someone I know is playing in the game. And it was interesting, to say the least. Their fans were much more spirited, much more into it. And there was some, you know, bashing, as they were playing much better than the team that I was there to support was playing. But it was fun anyway. It was a beautiful day, so being outside obviously was wonderful. And it was just a fun little cultural thing to see a local game, you know, sort of a local game. It was fun though. I liked it. It was in Lewisham. That's where I was. I'm going to start doing that every week. I'm going to put like a picture of myself in a random place and see if you guys can guess, and then reveal it on the live stream, that next live stream, just to kind of do something fun. Yeah. So nobody guessed it. Well, Miss Lynn B did guess Saturday footy match. So, I mean, that's close, but wasn't sure where it was. And then David Rhodes said, oh, it must be in the US because UK football pitches don't have such perfect grass coming out of winter. Their fan base was pretty devoted, so I think they probably made sure that it looked good because it was a cup game. Chris, you get the last word. Remember that politicians in senior office manage the media, and the whole narrative is much better these days, so we get treated better all around. 100%, Chris. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. I know that, you know, just from having conversations with my dad and other people that were veterans from Vietnam, and just watching documentaries and stuff about it, that because so many people were against the war, that they kind of took it out on the veterans coming back. And now I think just as a whole, as public, we have a better understanding that soldiers are soldiers in a lot of these cases. They can make some decisions, but they can't always make those decisions. And, you know, everyone's responsible. Everyone has to take personal responsibility for their actions, regardless, right? But anyone who's able to survive those types of atrocities should still deserve some kind of respect, in my opinion. Even if I don't agree with every decision they've made, they still put their life on the line for something that they felt like was worth it, or they felt that was a good cause. And in America, we don't have forced enlistment in any way. It's all volunteer. So that means that, you know, these people signed up for that job, and I think that that is extremely brave, and that's something I could never do. So I want to respect that. I want to respect anyone who's particularly fought in, you know, has seen combat, because that I couldn't even imagine either. But anyone who puts on a uniform and serves their country and devotes, you know, time to representing their country, I think should be commended and respected, and I try to do that. So yeah. Let's end on that. I loved Dad's Army. That was really funny. I'm definitely gonna watch some more of those episodes. I'm gonna try to find some of the words not all cut off and everything. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry about all of my tech stuff and things falling apart today. It was a mess today. I promise next week will be better. Thanks you guys for joining me. As always, love y'all. If you have something specific that you want to do next week for the stream, just let me know. You know, send me a DM on Instagram. I'm under MLS Rocks, MLS ROX. Or you can just leave a comment under any of the videos or anything. I respond to all the comments, so I love talking to you guys. And you swear allegiance to the crown and not the government. So if we don't like the government, we're not doing it for them. That's right. You guys have the army is separate from your actual government, right? Where in America, it's together. We don't have obviously a crown or a separate, you know, entity. So you have the king's army and the queen's army and all that. Yeah. So that makes sense. Oh, thank you, Chris. You guys are sweet. So excited that you guys joined us. Thank you all for subscribing and videoing and sharing and all of that stuff. I really, really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys want to do next week, and I will be talking to y'all soon in comments and everything, okay? Have a great rest of your week, and don't forget Saturday is a vlog dropping, and this week is going to be all differences between the houses here in England versus houses in the US, if you're interested in that. And I'll see you next week. Love you guys. Bye.